Your child's meltdowns aren't random. There are 5 triggers, and once you know which one is firing, you know which lever to pull. I'm going to walk you through all 5. By the end of this, you'll be able to look at your child's next meltdown and know what's actually happening in there. It's 7:40 on a Tuesday. One shoe is on, the other shoe is somewhere in the house, and your child is face down on the hallway floor, and the sound coming out of them isn't crying, it's something else. You have 11 minutes, and you're standing there holding a coat, working out whether you could physically carry them to the car. You know that moment. Maybe yours is 4 p.m. at pickup, or a Saturday in the supermarket. But you know it. Your child on the floor, or screaming, or silent and rigid. And every adult in the room is looking at you, and the look says, do something. And here's what you've been doing: staying calm, breathing. The advice from the books, the Instagram accounts, the relatives who mean well, the teacher who suggested a reward chart, and your child is still on the floor. You're not failing. The advice you've been given treats every meltdown as one thing with one response. There are at least 5 different things that can trigger a meltdown in your child, and each one needs a different response. When you don't know which one is firing, you're guessing, and guessing during a meltdown can make it worse, because the response that helps a sensory meltdown will backfire during a demand meltdown. I spent years watching parents do exactly what they'd been told and watching it fail, not because they were doing it wrong, because they were using the right tool on the wrong trigger. My name is Priyanka Goel. My background is in counseling psychology and behavioral science, and I've spent years working on the front lines as a child therapist with both neurotypical kids and kids on the spectrum. One thing before I give you the 5, and it's true during every single one of them. Your child is reading your face. For an autistic child, a parent's face is a regulation cue, and it is a loud one. If your jaw is tight and your eyes are wide, their system reads that as, the adult isn't in control of this, and it climbs. I'm not asking you to perform calm. Children see performed calm coming a mile off. I'm asking you to actually be the steady thing in the room. Get down to their level so you're not looming. Keep your hands where they can see them, and keep them still. Soft eyes, not staring, not avoiding. Your face is doing more work than your words are. Here's what's actually happening in your child's brain during a meltdown. And I'm going to explain this the way I explain it to parents in my office. It starts with a word, and the word isn't meltdown, it's tantrum. Because somebody has told you that's what your child was having. A teacher, or a stranger in the queue behind you. A tantrum is goal-driven. Your child wants something, and a tantrum has a tell. They check. There's a pause, a glance up to see if you're watching, and the volume adjusts to the audience. It gets louder when you walk away. It stops the second they get the thing. 10 seconds later, they're fine. A meltdown has no goal. There's nothing they want, so there's nothing you can hand over to end it. They don't check whether you're watching, because there's no audience in their world right now. Give them the toy. It keeps going. Take the demand away. It keeps going. Their system has crashed, and it will burn through whether you're standing there or not. And watch what happens after. After a tantrum, a child is fine. After a meltdown, a child is wrecked. Sometimes they sleep. Sometimes they can't tell you what happened because they weren't really there for it. You hold a boundary with a tantrum. You drop the load with a meltdown. Do those the wrong way round and you make it worse every time. Everything I say from here assumes you're looking at a meltdown. Trigger 1, the transition meltdown. Leaving, arriving, switching from one thing to the next. You'll know it because your child is fine, and then you say time to go and the world ends. Or you arrive somewhere new, a friend's house, a waiting room, and inside 2 minutes they've shut down. Their brain runs a prediction of what comes next. When life matches the prediction, the brain is on autopilot, calm, cheap to run. A transition breaks the prediction, and the brain has to rebuild its model of the world from scratch. For an autistic child, that rebuild is expensive. It's doing too much at once and it crashes. You're not watching a decision. Pushing through adds load to a brain that's already crashing. Slow the transition down instead. Count it out the minutes loud. Say what's coming next in concrete words. Hand them something from the next place. A snack, a toy, so their brain already has a piece of it. And your face is the clock. If your face says late, their brain reads emergency, and now you're the transition too. Get down to their level instead of standing by the door with your keys in your hand. Keys make noise. Keys mean go. Trigger 2. The sensory meltdown. This one is about the environment being too much. It's loyal to specific places. The supermarket with the lights and the beeping tills. The assembly hall with the echo. The birthday party with the music and the balloons and 20 screaming children. Sometimes your own kitchen at dinner time. This isn't prediction breaking. This is filtering. Your brain filters constantly. You stopped hearing your fridge years ago. You don't feel the label in your shirt. For an autistic child, that filter is weaker, so the fridge is still loud, the label still scratches, and everything arrives at full volume with nothing turned down. Eventually, the system overloads and goes into protection mode. Protection mode looks like a meltdown. Reasoning doesn't work here. It's not that loud tells a brain that's on fire it shouldn't be burning. Change the environment, not the child. Leave the shop. Step outside the party. Kill the kitchen radio. If you can't leave, build a buffer. Headphones, sunglasses, a corner with a wall at their back. And here, be less. Fewer words, and don't go hunting for their eyes. Right now, your face is one more thing arriving at full volume. Sit beside them instead of in front of them, and let them not look at you. Trigger 3, the demand meltdown. This is the one everyone gets wrong, because it looks exactly like defiance. You ask for something ordinary, get dressed, start homework, sit at the table, and they explode, or freeze, or say no. And when you push, it climbs. Every adult watching sees a child refusing. Here's what's underneath. Your child's brain has a limited capacity for demands at any given moment. Picture a bucket. Every instruction, every transition, every noise, every social interaction puts water in. When it's full, one more request, however small, overflows it. That isn't I won't, it's I can't, not right now. Which is why the same request is fine on Tuesday and detonates on Thursday. Tuesday, there was room. Thursday, the bucket came home full from school. The request wasn't the problem. The request was the last drop. So don't escalate it. I said now is more water. Drop the demand or cut it into something almost insultingly small. Not get ready for school. One sock. One. And take your eyes off them while you say it. For a lot of autistic children, being looked at is a demand of its own. So look at the sock, not at their face. Open hands, no pointing, and let the silence sit there. You're draining the bucket by changing how you're in the room. Trigger 4, the After-School Meltdown. This is the one that breaks parents. Your child goes to school. They hold it together all day. They follow the rules. They cope with the noise, the crowd, the instructions. The teacher says they were fine. Then they walk out of the building, see you, and detonate. And you think, what happened in there? Why are they fine for everyone else and a disaster for me? Here's the part nobody tells you. Your child has been masking all day, suppressing every instinct to stim, to move, to leave. Spending everything they had to look fine in a building that is, for an autistic child, relentless. The teacher saw fine because your child was paying for fine by the minute. Then they see you, and you are safe. And the mask comes off. The meltdown isn't because something went wrong. The meltdown is because something went right. They made it through. And with the one person safe enough not to need the mask, the system lets go. So don't interrogate. What happened? Who upset? You ask a brain that just collapsed to explain the collapse. Say nothing. Feed them. Get them somewhere quiet. The debrief comes tomorrow, or never, because sometimes there's nothing to debrief. Sometimes the day was too much. That's neurology. And watch your own face here, because this is where it slips. Your worry is loud. If your child walks out and reads fear on you, they learn that falling apart in front of you costs you something. So give them nothing to read. Don't search their eyes for what went wrong. Be boring and have the snack already in your hand. Trigger 5, the Unpredicted-Change Meltdown. The predicted world broke. You said the car. It's the bus. You said pizza. It's pasta. The teacher who was meant to be there is off sick. The road you always walk is dug up. The plan changed, and your child falls apart. For you, a change of plan is an inconvenience. For your child, it can feel like the floor went. Their brain doesn't build a vague idea of what's next. It builds a specific model. We go to the car, I sit in the left seat, we pass the park, we arrive at the shop. When the plan changes, that whole model collapses at once, and the collapse is disorienting in a way that's hard to describe from the outside. The world stopped making sense. Minimizing doesn't help. It's not a big deal, tells a child whose world just lost its structure that they're overreacting. Rebuild the structure. Say the new plan out loud, concretely, step by step. The car isn't working. We're walking to the bus stop, the one with the blue sign. We get the number 4. You can sit by the window. We get off after 2 stops. Give the brain a new prediction to hold. And your face is the anchor here. Flat, steady, no apology in it. Point at the actual bus stop while you talk. It gives their eyes somewhere to go that isn't your face, and it makes the new plan a real thing in the real world instead of a sentence. So, 5 triggers. Transition, the brain can't shift. Sensory, the environment is too much. Demand, the bucket is full. After school, the mask came off. Unpredicted change, the predicted world broke. Your child's meltdowns aren't random. They have a pattern. And when you can look at one and name which trigger is firing, you stop guessing. You stop feeling like you're failing. You start responding to what's happening in your child's brain instead of what it looks like from the outside. That changes the meltdowns. It also changes something bigger. When you respond to the trigger instead of the behavior, your child feels understood. And for an autistic child, being understood by their parent is the foundation everything else gets built on. Now, I've given you the 5 triggers. I haven't given you the words. The sentences that work for a transition meltdown are not the sentences that work for a demand meltdown. And in the moment, that difference is the whole thing. If you want the words, there's a resource under this video. It's called the Next Meltdown Parent Script. It's what to say for each of the 5, and the co-regulation steps that go with them. But if what you actually want is to work out which of these is happening with your child, then I'd rather talk to you. You tell me what's going on, I'll help you see the pattern, and we'll work out what might help. The link to book a consultation session with me is below this video. One more thing. If tonight is one of those nights, and you know the ones, look at what's happening and ask yourself one question. Which trigger is this? Not what's wrong with my child. Not what am I doing wrong. Just which of the 5 is this? The answer changes the response. And the right response changes everything. You've got this.